Hey Roll Dolls, welcome back to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here. Make sure you just like and comment though. I love feedback. Tell me like what you think about my videos. So this is how I pluck my closures. As you seen in the scene, I started off with spraying some turn up the heat protectant on there. I'm getting ready to hot comb the closure back. This is just so the closure can lay flat as I'm plucking it. I could get a clear view on what I'm doing while I'm plucking, and a good view on how the closure will look when it's finished. I like to section off, I guess you could say, baby hairs. I like to section my hairs off. Also, this can be your savior to um, save you basically if you overpluck. You could use those hairs in the front, um, to cover up any overplucking. So I do this whether I'm making baby hairs or not. You can see me going in with the wax stick just to get like all the flyaways and stuff. That helps it lay better while I'm plucking. I don't use too much of the wax stick because you don't want like a greasy, a greasy thing type going on. So um yeah, just hit it with the hot comb a little bit more just so it can further lay flat. You could get a good view of the hairline. As you can see, I'm just going in. So my view of the hairline is good, and as I pluck, I can see like everything what's going on. I know some people like to do it wet. I just like to do it dry because that way I'll know exactly what my closure is going to look like as I pluck. You definitely always want to start with some good sharp tweezers. It's so important. Dull tweezers can really affect the way your plucking looks. So dull tweezers, slanted tweezers. That's what I use, slanted tweezers. I'm sorry, I said dull. Don't mind me, your sharp, sharp tweezers. So if you look at the hairline, you can kind of see the hair that I pulled out in the front. You could kind of see where it's light at. So I like to pluck behind where it's light at. If you're looking at it, you can see where it's like light, and then as the closure goes back, it gets darker. So right where it gets dark at, that's where I like to pluck. And just like in a straight backwards line, not moving too fast and not plucking in the same area. So I like to move over as I pluck from the right to left, and I'm just not plucking in the same spot, and I'm moving over as I pluck until I get close to the middle part. I put a little part in it because this is going to be a middle part unit. So I put the part in it that way I know not to pluck too much in that area. Well, none at all where the part is going to be, because then that's how you get a wide part. And just kind of checking my work. That's the area you could tell I plucked at. So if you look over there, you could tell it's the dark line is more forward than where I'm plucking at. So I always like to stop and compare the two to see, how much work I've put in. I kind of been staying away from plucking. I know some people like to pluck, like, to give a lot of like scout effect, but I don't want any like, balding looking closures. I want my closures and frontals to have like a healthy hairline. So that's just me showing you how the darkness comes farther on the other side versus where I'm plucking at. The dark line is kind of like moving back. The more you pluck, the more you'll notice the dark line is moving back. That's kind of like the best way that I can explain it. And I'm just going in, going in. I'm using that thumb to sweep the hair that I pluck back, um, and as well as my hands. So I'll do that, do the thumb sweep as I pluck, and then I'll take my hands and kind of like push it back. And that's just me showing you how that light spot is moving further back. So I'm plucking where the dark spot starts. That's where I'm starting to pluck at. If you notice, my hand is moving further back. The hand that I'm plucking with is moving further back as I pluck more and more. And you could kind of see the spots where I pluck it and lighten. And when I do the comb out, that's how much hair came out so far. So yeah, just going in, not rushing. I know some people be like, yeah, I could pluck in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. With me, even though I would consider myself experienced at plucking, I still do not rush. I have a real heavy hand. I write heavy. So I know like when I try to move fast, I'll pluck a hole in the closure. So I definitely take my time. It's not really like about a speed thing with me. It's about how it looks. I don't want my closure looking bald. So I flipped that hair back to see how it would look, um, with the hair flipped back if I was to do no baby hairs. So while you're plucking, you still have to factor in that if you're not doing baby hairs, that you have to sweep that hair back. So I kind of just do that while I'm plucking to check to see, like, okay, to get an idea basically of when I'm going to stop my plucking. So I'm just going in, still on the one side, just going in, um, checking my work. And as you can see, it's starting to get thinner at the hairline versus the other side is still dark. And then also where the closure ends, you don't want to pluck too much over there because you still need that hair to lay over the track. So that's me just checking to make sure that the track is going to cover, the closure is going to cover the track. Y'all gotta excuse me, child. I'm trying to trying to get good with my words, and I'm trying to explain this to the best of my ability. I know when I was looking up like YouTube plucking videos, I couldn't get the concept of how people know where to pluck, when to stop plucking, that sort of thing. So I'm trying to just basically explain off of what I wish I would have seen or heard in a video. But we all have our own different methods. That's the beautiful thing about hair and wigs and everything. Everybody does everything different. While I'm plucking, I'm handing out tissues and handing out foams, child, wiping noses, all types of stuff. And I'm back going in on the other side. And as you can see, the one side is plucked and I'm starting on the other side. I like to, pluck on one side and then go over to the other side to try to catch up, if you will say, like catch up to the other side. All right, so I had to take that phone call real quick, but basically what I'm doing now is just, straightening out the part in the middle, making sure that was even, and I'm just doing the same thing that I did on the other side on this side. Um Flattening out the closure with my one hand, doing a thumb sweep to check my work. Just kind of going in, plucking where it's dark at, not where it's light. As I pluck, once it starts to become light in that spot, then I don't pluck there anymore. And just kind of follow that same step, as I pluck. So as you can see, you can start to see that it's starting to get light. Um, and the hairline is being like pushed back more and more while still maintaining that, healthy hairline look, not balding. When you over pluck a closure, I mean, you might get a good one or two installs out of it, but it wouldn't last long. And then that's when you end up needing a closure replacement. So you want the hair to look as natural as possible, as well as maintaining a healthy looking hairline. Combing that excess hair out. I'm just looking, checking over my work. I like to comb it, where the part is not there, so I can try to see like if the sides are matching. As you can see, where I have the comb at, that's where it's dark at. Where I have the comb at on that side, that's where it's dark at. And as you can see, it's not even. So on the left hand side, I need to pluck more to get push that dark spot, the dark hairline back more. I'm trying to explain this, so I'm trying to use like the best words to explain it as best as possible. Kind of with plucking closures, you just gotta kind of get into a routine and feel, and get comfortable with the routine that you're in. It took me maybe about 6 months to like get comfortable with plucking closures. A good way for practice is if you go to like your local beauty supply store and get like those closures. They're kind of starting to get expensive now too. Maybe you could get like little cheap closures off of Amazon for $40 or $50 to practice with. But practice makes perfect, and you just have to, get comfortable with the process. So right here, I'm just showing you that it's definitely starting to lighten up. I'm combing through, getting that excess hair out. And then this is just me checking my work to compare the two sides. And it is looking good, honey. Yes, it is. Flipping that hair back to see. And as you can see, when the hair is down in the front, it looks way lighter. But when you flip that hair back, it looks a little darker. So like I said at the beginning of the video, that hair in the front definitely can be your savior. What I like to do is the hair that's towards the front and the middle, I like to pull that back and then leave the two sides for baby hairs. If I'm doing two swoops of baby hairs, if I'm doing three swoops of baby hairs, then I would leave that whole row out in the front. So I'm just going in right now. Um, just checking my work. That's kind of what you do, the whole time while plucking, comparing the two sides, um, getting those to match. Yeah, and just going in. I really hope that this video is helpful. If you made it this far, yes, honey, thank you. I any questions, like I'm always free to answer any questions. You can email me, you can hit me up on my socials like Instagram, Facebook, etc. um yeah, I really just hope that this video helps. Sooner or later, I think I need to sit down and do like a little introduction video so I can introduce myself. My page, like right now on YouTube, just look like I'm all over the place. Child, getting surgery. I'm taking vacations, doing hair. Like, what's going on? But I am a wig maker. I do like to travel, and I'm in the surgery, so I'm gonna just give y'all that all mixed up in one. But I'm just going in, still checking my work, making sure it's clean. Nothing looks patchy. I hate a patchy looking bald spot looking closure. I am going to do a updated video on, well, not updated because I don't have one out, but I'm going to do a video on how I pluck my closures. I mean my frontals, because the frontals is a little bit different. I like to pluck those a little bit different than the way I pluck my closures. So I'm going to definitely put together a video so you guys can see how I achieve my frontal looks. But you definitely could use this this same concept that I'm doing. It's basically just the same. I just don't pluck on the canvas heads. I use a towel. But it's basically the same thing. Just checking the work, making sure it's even, it's looking good. Yeah, it's looking good, child. Ain't nothing I can say. I just keep combing it back. Go in for some more on that side. I'll be trying to get it like so identical to the other side. But the beautiful thing about wigs is like it's not necessarily a perfect job. And I feel like when the hairline is not perfect and thick, it doesn't look wiggy. Like plucking it definitely adds that natural look. But over plucking it just gives me like bald vibes. So you want it to look natural, but at the same time, you don't want it to look bald. So I'm just going in, checking my work, and voila, baby. And this is the finished product. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe.